In this session, I would like to demo a few features from the 2022 Business Central release Wave 2. For the planning worksheet in the release Wave 2, what Microsoft did is like you can sort previously, like if you are using planning worksheet for MPS, MRP, for to generate the suggestions for purchase orders or production orders, then you cannot sort on any of these columns. So, like this is my version 20.5. So if I click on any of these columns, I cannot sort them. So it doesn't make any change. And in this version, so each column, Microsoft added a sorting. So especially for those companies, they want to understand better, like if this demand is coming from the sales order. For example, you see this column MPS order. So if you see this is checked, which means this is a demand come from the sales order directly. And then so you can sort by this column. Then you can see which ones are which supply orders are generated from the demand from the sales order, and which ones are not. Maybe it's just generated from because it's a components on the production order line. So then it's generated that way. And also for example, you can see this column is also very useful when you use the planning worksheet to generate the regenerative plan, and it's using Business Central is using the low-level code. So it starts from the top level, which is level 0, and then going downwards is 0, 1, 2 in that sequence. So now you can sort by this, and you can clearly see these are these zeros are from the finished goods, other demands generated from the finished goods. And also you can sort by the date as well. So yeah, so this is useful for those people who just who doesn't want to export it to Excel and just want to use this view to make some analysis. So the second feature is for the Shopify improvement. So there's a feature released by 2022 release Wave 1. So Microsoft released this Shopify connector on May the 27th. So now you can integrate, you can synchronize your Shopify orders to your Business Central. And you can set up multiple Shopify shop cart. If you have multiple Shopify stores, then you can set up multiple shop cart. And then you can synchronize your products. So there's a few synchronizations you can do. You can synchronize your products, and then you can synchronize your inventory and customers and PM. So previously, these already in the previous version. Originally, there's a missing functionality. So two things, like most of the customer cannot use this connector. If we go to the orders, so because this is my on-premise version, it doesn't have, there are some issues to synchronize with the Shopify connector. I'm going to this 20.5, this version. So you can see in the previous version, the orders I synchronized, there are some gaps. You can see this 1002, then it jumped to 1005. So it doesn't have all my orders synchronized to Business Central. And then the reason is this connector can only synchronize the orders which is require your further actions. Like it's either is not paid and fulfilled. So if both of them, if it's a financial status is paid and fulfillment status is fulfilled, then there's no actions for Business Central to do anything. Then those orders will be skipped. So, but for some of our customers who use Shopify, who use our CSM for Shopify connector, so they are using Shopify fulfillment network to fulfill the order outside of Business Central. And then they just want to use CSM to, after the order is fulfilled, they want to use CSM to post the sales orders, record financial information, and update the inventory. So in that case, those clients cannot use that Shopify at all. And another issue with this previous version is like, after you posted the sales shipment and the invoice in Business Central, the Shopify order status does not get updated. So because there's a key element which is missing, and Microsoft added in this version. So this one is called a synchronized shipment. So if we look at this new version under the synchronization, they specifically added this sync shipments. And so without this, even you posted a sales shipment in Business Central, then you will not be pushing this status change to Shopify. So yeah, that's a big functionality change, I think, specifically for this Shopify connector. And then Microsoft also added a section on the role center, which is called, so you can see here, it is called Unprocessed Shipments. So then you can see which shipments you haven't pushed to Shopify yet. And so everything else, I think, is just a minor interface change, because they just previously, in the previous version, they have another tab here called inventory. And then in this version, they just combined this item synchronization tab with that inventory, move those two fields under the inventory tab to this tab, and renamed this. Previously, this tab was called item synchronization. And then because in Business Central, we call it items, but on Shopify, it's called products. So I think Microsoft just want to make it clear it's between Business Central item and the Shopify product is item product synchronization. So they renamed this tab to be that and combine the fields under inventory to the same tab here. Yeah, okay, so that's for this Shopify connector improvement. So the next one is the easily access setup pages for new apps. And previously, if you install an app in Business Central, and then you have to go to assisted setup to find out if there's a setup page for that extension. Or you have to search from the search bar and go to, like, if you install Inside Works, you have to search Inside Works Warehouse Inside Setup. You have to search that, and then it will bring you to the setup page. Just to be easier for the user to navigate to the setup page, in this version, Microsoft added, so if you go to extension management and click on the extension you installed and click on this 3 dots, then you will see this one called setup. So if you click on this, it will bring you directly to the setup page. So you don't need to go to assisted setup or search that setup page to go to the setup. You can go directly from the extensions you installed. And then this will bring you to the setup page. So this is just for better user experience. So the next one is easily install and set up new apps. In the previous version, after you deployed an app, so let's go to this version 20.5. In the extension management, after you install the app from the app source, and then it will run, the installation will run in the background. And then you have to go to manage and then just go to deployment status to check what is the deployment status. So you have to check that later. And in this version, it does not have that deployment anymore. So in the version 21, you will see this one called installation status, okay? And then, so when you install the app, it will give you 2 options. One is like you can wait until the app is finished installation. So I don't have that, I need to open this. You can see how that looks. So then it gives you 2 options. So you can wait. So your app is installing. Do you want to wait while it completes? And you can say yes or no. If you want to wait, then it will give you the screen installing this app. And then your app is installed. Do you want to set it up now? It's kind of like a wizard. If you wait, then it just goes through everything and bring you to the setup page directly. Or if you click on no, then it will just go to you like before. Then you have to go to this installation status to check the status. But this name has been renamed from deployment status to installation status. So this next one is the new field descriptions improve clarity. And in this version, for those fields, Microsoft consider it as essential. essential fields, and they essential fields or sensitive fields, they added a very detailed explanation. So they expect the clients can look at a detailed explanation and know how to use those, how those fields represent, and how you can use them. For example, in the customer list, you can see it give you if you click on, if you hover the number and name, then you can see it give you very detailed explanation. Like the number specifies a unique number that identifies the customer. The number can be generated automatically from a number series, or you can number each of them manually. And same for the name. It just gives you very detailed explanation. And if you look at the previous version, you can see it's kind of a little bit general. So if you hover this, you can see this description is very short. Yeah, so they just add a very detailed explanation for those essential and sensitive fields. And another example, if you go to the general ledger setup, so I saw there's a bunch of fields added there. Okay, so all these fields, then if you highlight them, and you could see it just give you very detailed explanation. So for those, all the new fields they added, they give you very detailed explanation on the tooltip. So that's another user interface improvement, so they can help the user to understand those fields better. So the next one here is the autosave as you work. So this feature already exists in the previous release, but Microsoft says it only exists in the Outlook add-in, and it does not exist in the web client and desktop client. But I don't know if that's true or not. But even before, if I go to any sales orders in the previous version, I go to any sales orders, and then you tap in something on the sales line, and then you could see there's it will tell you if it's saved or not. This exists in the previous version already, so it's in the web client. So yeah, so I think that statement may not be true, but in this version, for that autosave functionality, they extended, except for the Outlook add-in. Then it's been added for all the clients, including the desktop client, the web client, tablet client, phone client, and also if you embed Business Central into your Teams app, then it also works in the Teams app as well. So it's kind of everywhere. So the next feature, this feature I think is very interesting because in Business Central, it allows you to create one production environment and up to 3 sandbox environments. So in this feature, from anywhere in Business Central, everywhere in Business Central, doesn't matter which page you are on. And if you use the shortcut, which is a Control-O, then so like now, if I click on Control-O, then it will, on your keypad is a shortcut key, Control-O, then it will bring you to this available companies. So because I'm in this environment, I only have 2 companies, and it's only one environment. It's not like I have a few sandbox and 1 production environment. So you only see these 2 companies here. But if you do, you have multiple environments and multiple companies in each environment. I think this functionality will help you a lot. So you can easily switch the company and make some data comparison. Also, it added, you can see in these 2 companies, I can make different colors as an icon. And this is from the company information. You can choose a color for the company badge. And then for that company badge, you can use up to 6 characters for the text name of this badge. And then you can switch between those companies. And if you do highlight the other environment, because currently this one with a check mark is my current company I'm in. And if you want to switch to the other environment or the other company, you highlight the other one. And so you will see this button called switch will come up. And then you can click on this drop down list. So it gives you different options. if you just click on the first one, say open in new tab, then it will open this My Company and bring you back to the row center of My Company. And then if you say open in new tab and go to the same list, so because in this current company, I'm on the customer list. And if I click on this option, then it will bring me to the other company and goes to the same customer list page. Okay, so let's take a look. So then you see this is opening the other company and bring me to the same list page. And if I click on the first option, it just open the other company, but will bring you to the row center of the other company. Yeah, that's just to make the switch of the environment much easier. And so the next feature is the modern action bar. So in this version, so if you go, what they call it as a modern action bar is kind of like, if you go to, let's go to functions on the customer card. And so you can see, now this, if we go to something like a dimension or something, so we call this kind of thing, it's called split button. So it will bring you to, one is a menu, it's kind of like a menu, and then it bring you to different actions. So we call it split button. So you can see this feature almost everywhere in the interface, the split button. And then also Microsoft removed the navigate tab. So previously, if you go to a page, then a card page, then you can see on the top, there's a navigate tab. And then they removed that and combined it with the entity tab. So if you are on the customer card, then the entity is customer. So they combined everything under the navigate tab to that entity tab. And if you are on a sales order, this will be order. They removed the navigate and moved everything under navigate to the order. And also, they also made it easier for to make you have less clicks when you are working on something. For example, if I'm on the sales orders, in the previous version here, if you open the sales order, so this is my previous version. If I open my sales order, then I will have to click on, if I go to the sales order, and then at the beginning, when you just open the sales order, it will say more options. This is not expanded, right? So in the beginning, when you open a sales order, you will see it says more options. Then you have to click on that. Then it will expand. It will expand all the tabs under it. But in this version, it just when you go to sales order or those order document, then it just expanded right away. You don't need to have one more click to see everything under that menu. So that's also a user interface improvement. And then they have more user interface improvement for this modern action bar. But you have to go to the feature management, and they added a feature called the modern action bar. You can see here. So you have to enable this feature. After you enable this feature for all the users, so in this case, I enabled it, but I have to make sure it gets started. I have to say, try it out, and then it will apply all the additional features to this tenant. And the next one is the legacy list view. So this feature in the previous version, Microsoft allow you, I think from Business Central version 15, allow you to customize the view and pin it to your row center. Microsoft added that feature. You can go to a list and then you can customize by saved view. But previously, before that, if you want to have a view like these queues, you want to have a view which filtered according to your criteria, then you have to have a developer develop that and then pin it to the row center. So this legacy list view meant for those ones, like you hired a developer, develop those filtered views and put it in the row center. So they will not be supported after in 2023 release wave 2, all those legacy list view will not be supported anymore. And if you want to test it out to see if you can live without that, then you can enable that feature earlier before 2023 release wave 2. So you can go to your feature management, and there's a legacy list views are hidden. So this is a feature. Then if you enable that for all the users, then it will automatically, it will just remove those legacy list views from your role center. And then so you can see if you can just use your own personalized view instead of using those legacy list view developed by your developers. So that's all the features I want to demo in this session. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for watching this Archer Point video. Stay in the know with the latest on Microsoft Dynamics by subscribing to our channel. You can also learn more from our blog at archerpoint.com or email info@archerpoint.com to contact us. See you in the next video.